Hey everybody, we're going to be starting in just, I don't know, a minute or two. I'm going to put myself on mute. I'll be right back. All right, it looks like people are coming in. We'll give them a couple more minutes here. I never actually know what time it is. I have at least 3 clocks around me, and they're all different, you know. And the worst clock in my life is the clock on my computer. It tells the worst time ever. I don't understand that. You know, I have, I don't know, 12 gigs of RAM in this thing, and, you know, state-of-the-art processors. You would think that that it would, you know, be able to tell time. Yeah, hey, Big J, I like that. I've been having an ongoing issue with the oversaturation of color in this tool. This we're on live stream actually, and I actually believe that it's the time of day. Normally we meet at about 3:15. I do a Friday show, so you know, as people come in, that's another free thing if you're interested. We meet here at the same place, sagerock.com/live, and we talk about industry in the news, and that, you know, what's going on, what are the latest trends, and it's an open forum. People are allowed to ask questions and that sort of thing. But you know, Big J was just saying, you know, the asking if the window shade was closed, and there is, like, we have. I don't know if I can show this to you or not. I don't know if it'll. We've made some weird, you know, we've kind of covered this window with some mock shading. You know, that's what happens when you have guys running a place. You know, we don't actually buy curtains. We just take, like, paintings and put them in the window. I mean, we can't be troubled to go to Walmart and, you know, get window coverings. So, yeah, whatever. But it is fantastic to see you all here. If you've come to some of the webinars that I've held in the past, maybe you notice that my voice is a little raspy, a little husky or something. But the good news is it's better than it has been in a couple days. And I did a 3-hour class last night at the University of Findlay, and a couple of webinars in the day. And by about 9 o'clock last night, it was pretty much cooked. My voice was totally fried, but I've got a little bit of range today, which is very good. And I would like to say that this session is brought to you by Walprofen, the Walgreens knockoff of Advil Cold and Sinus. My mom, every time I get a cold, my mom is always like, go get the Advil Cold and Sinus, every time. And then I tell her, oh, I don't need that. I like Coldies. I like those lozenges, the Coldies. And but this time this cold felt worse, and so I went out and got it, and man, it is good. Go get the Advil Cold and Sinus, or the knockoff. I think the knockoff was half price, and oh man. But you got to go behind you got to get it behind the counter, because it has the same stuff that crystal meth is made out of, you know. So now it's behind the counter. You got to give them your license and stuff like that. But at any rate, it is fantastic. I see people coming in. I'm always looking forward to this. This has been a session that people have been asking for some time, and so I've been really excited about offering it. And so, if you don't know where you are, we are doing a free Google AdWords workshop, and I'm imagining it's going to go an hour to 90 minutes. 1 hour to 1 hour 30 minutes, something like that. Is there a CVS ad at the bottom? That's hilarious. I wonder if they knew that I had put up a competitor, the Walgreens. Yeah, it's that time of year. We need our cold and sinus stuff. This is one of the many benefits of doing a webinar as opposed to in person, is that not only is it convenient, but you don't have to worry about getting sick. I don't think they've ever proven that you can transmit a cold virus through a webinar. So, that's good. Logistically, let me talk very quickly. I've had some people say, well, I don't know how to chat. Do I have a hashtag? Hey, John, it's great to see you. Let's do, I don't know. That's a great one. Okay, John, would you come up with the hashtag? Thank you for asking. That is shame on me for not having one, but you're the man for the job. So John Haney here, a renowned social media expert, I'm super pleased to see is here. And if you would be so kind, just he's going to put up the Twitter hashtag for this session. And if you are not familiar with Twitter, I will show you briefly what we're going to do here is we're going to go to Twitter. Okay, he's on it. Good. So several of you might be Twitter people, and so if you are, you can come here to Twitter and Sage Words. Okay, good. So it's going to be, that's so nice. Look at you. Okay, so it's going to be Sage Words. All right, like that. Oh, excellent. Okay, John, you're the man. Okay, thank you. So that's going to be the Twitter hashtag. You are more than welcome to do anything with this. You can comment, you can quote me, you can videotape this. I don't care. It does. It's a double entendre, if you would. It's lovely. So, and in fact, what we can do is I can go to search.twitter.com, and I could probably filter on that, and we can just kind of watch it as it comes over. Hold on. Let's see. 1 second. Sage Words. Okay. So, all right. So, somebody already did 19 hours ago, but that's good. It's, November 29th. There hasn't been a Sage Words hashtag for a day or two, so that'll be good. So feel free to do anything. This is all open format. You can do anything with this content that you would like. So there. So just to let you know, in the past, some people have had difficulty knowing how to use the chat feature. And it's really quite simple. It looks like several of you have already figured it out, but you'll see a chat window on the right-hand side of the screen, and you can just start writing in there and click the Say button, and then what will happen is a window will come up right behind it that will say, choose your nickname, and then you can choose the nickname that you would like. You can use a fake name, your real name, or whatever, and you don't have to log in or anything along those lines. So that is how it works. And look at there, John, already posting. You're the man, I tell you. So. And please feel free to ask any question. I think we should keep it for obvious reasons in line with Google AdWords, but I will answer questions in the order in which they appear. So, feel free to ask any question at any time, even if it is not seemingly related to what we are talking about. And we will, I will just kind of go take those questions as they come. So that is that. Let me see something here. I was going to see if I could do a little poll, and oops, now I've logged myself out. Good job, Sage. Doesn't look like maybe I can on this. Okay, so at any rate, what I wanted to know was, how many of you had have Google AdWords accounts, and so, let me see. I've been working on this using a different tool today, and it doesn't appear that it has the ability to take a poll. But I think either way, what I want to do here is kind of start from the ground up, okay? And if you have some experience with Google AdWords, logging in, registering an account may be, obvious to you, but we will be consistently moving through these, how to set things up, how to set up campaigns properly, how to find targeted key phrases, how to do geo-targeting, and so on. So there should be a lot of information, I think, for everyone. There is... Google. John says he's doing my first Google AdWords campaign this week. Excellent. Okay, good. Now that leads me to the $100 coupon. If you are new to Google AdWords or you're setting up a new Google AdWords account, I have a coupon for you, and it's $100, and so you can use it on a new account. You can't use it on an existing account, but new accounts. And I think if you set one up within the last week, John, that should still qualify. So that's it's a pretty good deal to try Google AdWords and get $100 free traffic. So now the thing about it is I'm in a program of theirs that I think it's called Google Engage, where they give me these. And so I'll give each person their own. All right. So yeah, see, you can't go wrong with coupons, right? And but I would just ask, if you wouldn't mind, if you would just email me. I'm not going to do anything with this other than email you back. Okay, hold on. All right. So if you would just email me at sage@sagerock.com, and just in the subject line, just say something like AdWords, AdWords coupon, I will send it out to you. The reason I'm not just sending them out to everybody is because I think Google keeps an eye on how many of my coupons I use, and I'm a little concerned that if I send out too many and they aren't used, maybe I'll get cut off. I don't know if I will or not. They haven't threatened me with anything like that, but it's so if you don't think you're going to use the coupon or know somebody that'll use the coupon, maybe don't use it now. You can email me at any time for it. It doesn't have to be, it's not a limited time offer, this coupon thing. Anytime you need a coupon for a new account, just let me know, and I will gladly, get you one. So that is that. So just email me at sage@sagerock.com at any point in time, and I'll give you your personalized coupon. All right. So now, for some reason, the chat is kind of freaking out on me here. 1 second here. Okay, let's see. It's going to log back in. But, all right, well, we'll let it go here. All right, good. Let's see. Yeah, so words from the wise. Have several campaigns running and have problems with Google's quality scoring. Ah, good. Often makes no sense why I get a low quality score. Right on. Okay, hold on 1 second. Quality score is a hot topic, and so we will definitely be talking about that. And it is confusing. It used to be that people could guarantee top rankings. Back in the day, you might see an ad that somebody's search engine optimizer says, we guarantee you top listings in a search engine. And then what they would do is they would just bid more than the person that was currently in number one, and they would get you number one in that regard. But it's more complicated than simply being able to afford more than the existing person that was already there. There's a quality scoring that goes into this, and we'll be talking about that. Oh, thanks, John. Yeah, this is I saw somebody else with this microphone. It's called the Blue Ball, and then the silver around it is a shock stand. So if you put a cup down on the table, it doesn't send reverberations through the entire mic. But it does have like this retro look, and I like having a retro look with doing something like, state of the art, like a streaming webcast, I just think it's a nice dichotomy. But thank you very much. So without further ado, ta-da, here is Google AdWords, okay? Now, and you can just get there. You can go to adwords.com. I think you can go to adwords.google.com. That's the URL I will give you. Okay. And that's how you get to Google AdWords. And just so that we are on the same page, Google AdWords supplies paid sponsored listings to Google and AOL and tons of other websites. So if we do something like CNC machining, okay. So what we are talking about are these listings at the top here and the listings on the right here, okay? And these are all evolving. They're continually adding things to these as time goes on. Social signals, in fact, actually, you can now +1 a Google AdWords ad. In fact, if I go over here, I'll show it to you. CNC machine. Okay. So you can see here that perhaps you've seen in Google listings, when you go to Google and do a search, you've seen these little +1 things over here. And what that's doing is it's kind of just giving a thumbs up, if you will, to a listing. It's like a Facebook like or something along those lines. But it's interesting to me that these have now been applied to paid listings. They've been applied to a series of things now. But I find it interesting that they are checking social metrics against paid listings, and I would not be surprised if as time goes on, that we find out that part of the quality score has to do with people clicking on the +1s of these, of people liking listings, and so I think that is interesting. It's going to continue to make this more and more complicated as time goes on. But this is what we are talking about. We are talking about these top listings and these side listings. And one of the common questions I get is they say, well, Sage, I just want to be at the top. Get me in the program that is at the top. And it's the same program, okay? So the listings that are on the right are in the same AdWords program as the listings at the top. The listings at the top typically have a higher daily budget, a higher cost per click budget, and I'll show you all that. And they are probably have a higher quality score that has come up from words from the wise. And so those things all play a role. It is now theoretically possible that the number 1 listing could actually be paying less than the number 2 listing, because the number 1 listing very well might have a higher quality score. All right? So it's not all about who has the most money. Now, I will say it's a lot about who has the most money. We can't kid ourselves about this. That if you aren't willing to pay what the going rate is for something in a particular industry, you are not going to rank as well, but it's not the only factor these days, okay? And what I want to also point out, so everybody again is on the same page, that when I loaded this search result, CNC machining, these people did not pay anything, all right? They paid nothing. They only pay if I click on their listing, okay? And so these people, you could look at these listings 1,000,000 times and it would not cost them anything. But once you click on the listing and go to their website, then money is removed from their account. And you set a predetermined amount of money. It's on a daily budget. And it can be $1 a day. I don't know what the minimum is actually. I usually, the last I thought, the last I see was, $1 a day is the smallest I've ever put in. You do not, by setting up a campaign, you are not obligated in the least to spend money. You can set up a campaign and have it paused. So you don't have to feel like if you delve into this that you are suddenly into Google for a monthly budget. You can start and stop your campaigns at any point in time. John, that's a great question. Curious how to best exploit the long tail in selecting keywords and phrases, and that is the key. So a long tail, and this is the way to save money. What John is talking about here is that, if you think about the short tail of soda pop, for example, the short tail is Pepsi and Coke, right? Those are the two big ones. But then as you think about all the hundreds of other brands of soda pop, those become the long tail. And this whole long tail effect, the theory is that if you work the long tail long enough, it will beat out the Coke and Pepsi, you see? And in fact, it'll not only beat it out, but you will get the traffic cheaper because Coke and Pepsi are much more expensive phrases than, I'm trying to think. There's a soda pop. I went to a manufacturer of soda pop in Wisconsin. And man, I think they did a root beer and it was good, but I can't remember their name offhand. But they would be, one of those small local soda people would be an example of the long tail. And then, so John goes on to say, do the ones in the main column pay just to appear even if they receive no clicks? No. There is no paying on Google listings unless you click, okay? So we did a campaign once for Sea-Doo, those water jump runner thingies, and their goal was to just create impressions. They actually did not want people to click on their listings. That was the first kind of campaign I'd ever done that. So, so Jones Soda. So there you go. That's interesting. So they're working the social media thing. Very cool. Yeah, there's a lot of great soda out there. It's impressive. And so they were into this for branding. Now, I just was at a conference Chicago, and I was listening to a speaker say some interesting stats, and these are rough numbers. You'll have to forgive me. They're not precise numbers, but I want you to get the general gist of what I'm saying. When an advertiser advertises offline, like on TV or print or that type of thing, 75% of their revenue goes towards branding. They are building a brand, right? You know these kinds of commercials. Every commercial that you see on the Super Bowl is branding, right? They're not like call now, order now, It's not direct response. 25% of the budgets offline go to an action-based campaigns. Online, it is completely reversed. 75% of people spend money online to get an action, okay? 25% goes to branding. We as marketers, I think, have done this to ourselves because we have always been talking about the trackability of this stuff and how we can monitor every single detail, and we are going to talk about that. But we have, I think, talked about it so much that companies do not believe that there is a place for branding in search marketing. As I go to conferences, I hear more and more about branding, and I feel that as we get out of this recession, you are going to start seeing more branding-based campaigns online. Social media is perfect for that. Social media builds brand and interaction and engagement like no other marketing. And as people get more comfortable thinking about brand and lift and engagement online like they do offline, we are going to see some really interesting campaigns, I think. We're already seeing interesting campaigns. It's not, I mean, there's a lot out there, but I think they're going to be increasingly more interesting as we go. So, just to be clear, there has not been any money paid as I have sat on this page, okay? There is nothing has been paid. And I'm not gonna beat up on the CNC machining guys, but if I would click on, say, ThomasNet, then money would be deducted, all right? So that's what we're talking about with the vast majority of paid search, okay? And we'll talk about more kinds of paid search as we go along. All right, so before we start, okay, before we start doing anything, I want to talk about planning, okay? I believe that people run into their paid search campaigns without planning. And I think Google likes that. They benefit if you do not plan, okay? If you just start adding words, you set up your initial campaign, you just start throwing phrases in there, your quality score goes, through the floor, and that makes you pay more. A lower quality score makes you pay more. And that has to do with lack of organization. Okay? So, the first thing I want to talk about is signing in with your Google account. All right? So, what I want to discuss here is that I don't want you just to arbitrarily sign in with your Gmail account, because it's you can set up one Google AdWords account per Gmail account. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, let's say you have 3 companies, all right? You don't want to set up a Google AdWords account with your very first, your initial Google AdWords or Google Gmail account, because then you're going to say, oh, well, company number 2, now I need to set it up again, and they are not going to let you, okay? My recommendation is to set up a Gmail account specific to this organization. So, my Gmail account is sagerock@gmail.com. It was a mistake. I mean, I love having it, but I should have gotten sagelewis@gmail.com. My wife, she got rockylewis@gmail.com, and everybody, including me, is so envious, because now I can't get sagelewis@gmail.com, And so now I have to, the rest of my days be Sage Rock, So, that'll be interesting. I don't have any plans for this, but hypothetically, what if I sold my company, right? Are they going to want my SageRock@Gmail account? Maybe, right? I don't know. So what I would do is my mom, for example, she has a dog sitting business. And so I set up AkronDogSitting@gmail.com for this, okay? And so she could log into it if she wants. She's not going to log into her paid search, but at any rate, I've already set up an account at sagerock@gmail.com. And so, I forget, it is something I've done at SageRock. I can't remember exactly what that account is for, but this is the first part of planning that I want you to do. I recommend probably creating a new Google account for this AdWords campaign. If you say to yourself, well, it's just me, and it's just my company, and it'll be fine if I log in with my Gmail account, that's perfectly fine, but I want you to do it consciously, okay? So that's the first step. Consciously decide what Google Gmail account you're going to log in with. The second thing, I want you never to call this number. You see this number here? This is a trap, okay? This will get you in touch with a live person at Google, and that live person has one goal: to get as much money out of you as humanly possible, okay? I have no incentive to tell you otherwise. You aren't my client. After this call, you can go and do whatever you want. You can do this yourself, which is what I'd kind of like you to do. You could hire another agency. You can go to discussion forums, go to Webmaster World. Webmasterworld.com. Okay, they'll help you out, and you can ask questions. Come back here. Come on Fridays at 3:15. sagerock.com/live. I will help you out for free. Just don't call this number. I've documented this on the Sage Rock blog about how all they want to do is raise your daily budget. You do not need this, okay? The second thing I want you to understand about this is you should not gauge your metrics by daily budget. We're going to talk about metrics here in a little bit, but that is not how you determine things. There is great tracking availability here, okay? And it's not how much you can spend every day, it's how much those clicks are worth to you. And you can track that in here, okay? So, of course, call the number if you want, but they tend to confuse the issue. They will tell you things like, oh, well, you'll have to spend a minimum of this to get any kind of traction, to see any kind of lift in your business, and it's just untrue. Oh, wow. I turned my camera around, but the Goodyear blimp is out. It's perfect. It's a beautiful day here in Akron. I'm walking distance from Goodyear. I don't think I've ever seen the Goodyear blimp. But it's nice. All right. Anyways, so that is the first tip, or that's the first couple tips. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to log into a brand new account. Okay. And it is Maui Condo by Owner at gmail.com. Let me put in the password. Okay, let's see if that worked. No, of course not. Okay, what did I spell wrong? Okay, let's try one more time. All right. I tested it before I got on here, so I know it works. Okay, good. Here we are, everybody. Welcome to the world of Google AdWords, okay? This is an account that has not been set up. There has been nothing here. We're going to build it from the ground up, just like you would do, okay? Now, you would think that we're off to an easy start. Time zone, country or territory, and time zone. I mean, how hard could that be, right? Well, we're already in a conundrum, okay? We already have an issue. Because what we're doing here is, this is for a person that is renting out their Maui condo, okay? That's what this account is going to be, right? And the issue becomes, what time zone do you pick? And so you have some options here in the United States. You have Hawaii time, which is their time, Alaska time, Pacific, Mountain Arizona. I didn't know there was a Mountain Arizona. Mountain Arizona is tricky. I have a client in Arizona, but he's on Pacific time. I don't know. Central time and Eastern time, okay? So I was already confounded by this before I started this class, and so I got some consulting on it. I said, what time zone should I use? And so, the first instinct was, well, use the time zone the business is in. Use the time zone the condo is in. So that would be Hawaii time. There's just one problem. People in Hawaii do not need a condo. They already have a condo. They're in Hawaii. Right? So, and, it's Hawaii time is Hawaii time because it's out there in the middle of the ocean. The people that need a condo are in other time zones. But the tricky part is that they're not just in, say, Pacific time. They're in Eastern time. They have people that come to the condo from Japan. I don't know what time zone that is. So, already we have something that seems relatively simple. we're trying to rent out a condo, but we can't get past the time zone. And so, again, the reason this is interesting is because you will not be able to change these details later. So be careful when making your selections. Okay? Now, the issue of this is you can create ads that are what we call day parted. So let's say, for example, they only wanted to display their ads when they were available to take calls. Like the call to action is to call their phone, and they don't want to have the phone ringing at midnight, so they want it between 9 and 5 p.m. in Hawaii time, unless of course they're back in Ohio, because they live in both places. They have a Ohio home and a Hawaii home. So that's why it's, if you set the time zone correctly, if you set it to Hawaii time, then you can say, all right, well, day part these from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So meaning they only show between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m., and it becomes very easy. That's why the time zone is important. However, we have decided that we are going to set the time zone to Eastern time, okay? And the reason is because of this. The person who owns this condo will probably never, ever come into this account. The person who is managing this account lives here in Ohio. And so, because this time zone issue is a whole big do, people are coming from all over the world to Maui. We have decided, and I asked about this before I pressed it, that we are going to do Eastern time, because in this case, there is a big, hairy deal about time zones, and so we're just going to understand that we're going to manage it in Eastern time, and if we want to day part, I'm sorry, I'm keeping looking up. I wonder if I can, hold on. I'm always, let's see here. Hold on. Can I do it? Okay, wait for it. Can you see that? There he is. You can't see him very good. Yeah, I see the little blimp. So it's not so little. So there you go, the blimp. Yeah, he's just wandering around out here. I don't know what he's doing. Just, like Sunday driving his blimp around. I'm not sure. It's a beautiful day in Akron. He's probably like, I need to get the blimp out. Dust it off. Funny. Okay, so at any rate, we are going to do this. We are going to do Eastern time because the manager is in Eastern time, and if we happen to want to do any day parting where we are serving ads at a particular time, we are just going to do the calculations of the different time zones. But quite honestly, the call to action in this is not a call, so we don't really imagine that we're going to be organizing our ads by time. So Eastern time in this case. But it's a whole thing because you can't undo it, right? This is one of these things you can't go back and do. And then select a permanent currency. This hopefully, for me it's not a big deal, but you can imagine that if you're doing global, that you would potentially set these up for different currencies. Review the available payment options for local currencies before you decide. Not all currencies are available in all areas, okay? And so once again, they have it here in big yellow. It says, your time zone and currency settings can't be changed after you set up your account. Please review your choices carefully and then click continue. So currency has to do with your bid management, okay? It has nothing to do with what currency your end user, your visitor is. It's just the currency that you are going to see when you're paying your bills. So if you're, if you got dollars, then do dollars, right? Okay, so there we go. First hard question, done, Eastern time. Okay, now here it is. Create your first campaign. So a login email, and this was an email that it was set up specifically for this campaign, mauicondobyowner@gmail.com. It says you can now sign into your AdWords account using the Google account address and password you just specified. When you sign in, you'll be asked to create your first ad campaign. Enter your billing information to activate your account and start running your ads. Now, they kind of, it's funny they made that all one sentence. You'll be asked to create your first campaign and enter your billing information. You see how they did that so cleverly? You do not have to enter your billing information, okay, if you don't want to. Now, you need to, if you want to use the $100 coupon, you do have to enter a credit card, okay? You can't use the $100 coupon without using a valid credit card, but you can certainly set up your campaigns without entering a credit card. You'd have to remember why Google is doing this, and it is not for the betterment of humanity, okay? They are a cool company, and I like very many of the things that they do. I am pro Google, okay? But they are in it to make money, and this is how they make most of their money. I've seen statistics anywhere from 85 to 95% of all revenue Google makes is in here, okay? It's huge for them. They want your money. It's not evil. I mean, every company wants your money, right? The local butcher wants your money. Everybody wants your money, but I just don't want you to think that they are doing anything other than that, Okay, we'll also send an activation email with more details to the address listed above and so on. Your ads won't run until you submit your billing information, right? And so they put that in big, scary letters. Who cares? You can still set it up without putting in your billing, okay? So let's do it. Okay, so what I would like to point out is you can see over here on the left-hand side, when do my ads start running? How do I create a new campaign? How do I build the best keyword list? AdWords beginner guide. These are all great, okay? Please use these, okay? These are fine. These are great, helpful tips. Just don't call the number. They are not there to answer these questions on the phone number. They are there to get your campaigns online and running. It was a long time. It was years before they ever put a phone number up there. It's very expensive for them to have that phone number up there, and so their goal is to get you to pay for things with that phone number. But the content that they offer is just fine. The written stuff, very helpful indeed, okay? All right. I wanted to show you some other pieces of information here before I go on. Okay, one second. So I'm a part of this Google Engage thing. This is where I get my coupons. But they have some pretty cool tools. And I believe I've tested this URL. This is open to the public, okay? I think if somebody would click on that, if you get a password restricted issue error on that, let me know. But there's some really good stuff in here. So what's in here is this is for tips on helping sell AdWords. And this could be useful if you're an agency and you want to get involved in selling AdWords. They have some nice selling stuff, how to organize a sales pitch and so on. If you are inside an organization and you're kind of in the middle of an organization, your organization is tentatively trying to come up with stuff, they're thinking about doing some paid search, this stuff could be good to make your case. But what I liked was this particular, Google AdWords. What's in it for you? This is nice for everybody. And it's a booklet that explains the benefits of AdWords to small businesses extremely well. And I did think it was nice. And then they have some case studies, which are good as well. Okay. So those are there as well. And so you might check out those and see what other people have done. I am here to tell you, if Google AdWords is used correctly, it is incredibly effective for your business. It makes businesses, but you have to use it wisely. And I will, hopefully by the end of today, show you how to do that. So those are some tools that you can use. All right. So now let's try signing in here. All right. Okay, so here we are. This is what everyone will see the first time they come in here. I'm going to try something here. I'm going to try playing this video and see if this plays well. If it doesn't, somebody just step in and say, Sage, that's terrible, and I'll stop, okay?
Thank you for signing up with Google AdWords. You're just a few clicks away from creating your first campaign. Let's see how you can use AdWords to reach your target audience and effectively grow your business. First, you should know that there's no minimum budget requirement for AdWords. Therefore, you can spend as little or as much as you'd like on your advertising with Google. There are a number of benefits to Google AdWords. AdWords makes it easy to reach the audience you're looking for, big or small. You can also make changes to your account at any time, so you can quickly adapt your campaigns to your changing business needs. Finally, you'll have quick access to your campaign results, giving you the data you need to make smarter advertising decisions. Google's advertising network allows you to reach millions of customers across the US and around the world. In fact, approximately 8 out of 10 US internet users view AdWords ads each month. But with AdWords, you don't have to reach everyone. Let's say you're a store that sells dog toys. By targeting Google searches, you can reach the audience most relevant to you. In this case, that would mean people interested in dogs or dog toys. You can also use geographic targeting to show your ads to a local, national, or international audience. This means you advertise to an audience as specific as people searching for dog toys within 20 miles of San Francisco, or as general as people reading articles about pet care anywhere in the world. AdWords is flexible. It allows you to start or stop your ads from running at any time. You can spend as little or as much as you want. If you select cost per click pricing, you'll only be charged when people click on your ads to go to your website. Unlike traditional forms of advertising, AdWords allows you to see exactly what you are getting out of your budget. Each dollar you spend and each click you receive are tracked clearly within your account, allowing you to make concrete, data-driven decisions quickly and easily. Let's take a look at a demo account where the ads would have been running for a while. If we look at the search term puppy toy, you can see that this phrase brought you 123 visitors and 65 sales from these visitors. AdWords also allows you to make changes within your account in a matter of seconds. Let's say the search term puppy toy gives you a lot of sales. You might want to increase the amount you are willing to pay per click for the search term puppy toy to get more clicks. We can simply click on the current bid and quickly change it using inline editing. Now that we've learned a little bit more about AdWords, let's see how to get started. It's easy. Just follow these 4 steps. Choose your budget, create your ads, select your keywords, and enter your billing information. The first thing you'll do is enter a daily budget. Next, you'll create your own ads using unique information about your business and the products or services you offer. Your ads will usually include a title, 2 lines of description, and your website's address. You can update your ads whenever you like. After that, you select keywords, the words and phrases relevant to your business. These keywords are the terms that prompt your ads to show next to relevant searches on Google.com and on search partner sites, as well as relevant pages across the Google Content Network. Finally, you'll select your billing method. Simply enter your payment information, and after a $5 activation fee, your ads will be ready to run. To get started, click on Create Your First Campaign.
All right, so there you go. And that is all very correct information. I don't disagree with anything there. And it reminds me that one of the great aspects of this that I think beats out almost all other marketing is how precise you can be. You can turn things on and off instantly, and target very specific phrases, geographic locations, the whole deal. John just let us know that those materials, I guess they needed you to log in. I'm sorry about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download them, and what what am I going to do? Maybe I'll follow up email you with the links, okay? Let me just write that down. Send links to material. Okay, yeah, so at the end of this session, I will just send you I'll upload them somewhere, and then you'll be able to get the materials, okay? Sorry about that confusion. I tested that on another browser, and it said I wasn't logged in, but I don't know. Maybe oh, you know what? I wonder if you logged out, if you'd be able to, never mind. I'll get it. I'll get that stuff to you. Okay, so we are at this session here, and what I want you to understand, again, from a planning standpoint, is that there are 3 levels of refinement that we are going to talk about. The first is the campaign level. Okay, this is what we're looking at here. The next is an ad group level. And then the next is the keyword level. All right. And I want you to be sure that you understand these different levels, okay? There is one key difference between the campaign and an ad group. And when I see people setting up their campaigns, this is the biggest mistake that I see them do. They come in here, they click on Create Your First Campaign, and I come in here and it's labeled just like this, campaign number 1. See? And they've just taken the default and they put everything in this campaign. And that does a couple negative things for you. The first thing, the biggest thing it does for you is it loses control of your budget. Daily budget is controlled at the campaign level. All right? So what that means is this. Let's say, let's say, for example, I'm going to use a manufacturing company, all right? And in fact, I'm thinking about one that I'm very proud to work with, Miller Weldmaster. They do vinyl welding machines. They're the world leader in machines that weld vinyl, okay? And, like for tents and tarps and all that cool stuff. And so with them, they have an option. Let's say, for example, they have something called hot wedge welding, they have hot air welding, and then they focus on industries, like they have tents and tarps and oil boom, you see. And then sometimes they like to do campaigns when they're going to a trade show, like they go to a big trade show, and they'll bid on the trade show name. So if you've ever done a big trade show, you know that those are huge, and a lot of times you have to organize meetings ahead of time so that people come to your booth because it's just too big to see it all. And so they will, sometimes do campaigns like that. And if you put all of those in one campaign, you are going to get a lower quality score because those are all different things, But most importantly, even more importantly, I think, is that you have no control over your budget. So let's say you have a $100 a day budget, and it's either on or off, And you either are bidding for these things or you're not bidding for them. Whereas if you take all of those different things and organize them by campaign, you could say, all right, I want to promote this trade show we're going to, and I'm willing to spend $10 a day. The tent industry is huge for us, so we're going to spend $50 a day on that. Tarps, not so much, $15 a day on that. And then as it comes in, we're going to be tracking conversions, and you'll be able to say, oh, look, The TARP people, they never convert. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to pause that whole campaign. And so you can stop that campaign. You can say no dollars a day, paused. But everything else is running. I was talking to Greg, our chief operating officer here, about how his philosophy on campaigns, ad groups, and keywords. And he said, and I said, tell me when you decide to use a campaign versus an ad group. And he said, well, you get most control at the campaign level. But if you make everything a campaign, it becomes unmanageable. And he said, in a perfect world, you would have one campaign, one ad, and one keyword, because that would give you the uttermost control. But he said, that's impossible to manage. Even with 20 keywords, you would have 20 campaigns and it would be too micromanagey. You can't live like that. But it does give you the most amount of control. So what you want to do is you want to find a happy medium between having just one campaign that everything goes in and having a million campaigns, all right? And my recommendation is this. Organize your campaign either by product or by industry, or both. So, you could have product A is a campaign, product B is a campaign, product C is a campaign, and then industry 1 is a campaign, industry 2 is a campaign, industry 3 is a campaign. See? And then you can target that way. And the interesting thing about that is they all have mildly different key phrases, right? Industry 1 uses, talks about the application, right? How they're using it. Whereas product A talks about the features of the product, and so you can talk and you can cross over. You can have key phrases in you can have the same key phrase in multiple campaigns. Google just picks, which one it serves up. It doesn't serve both, but you can do that. All right, so that's what I want you. This is the number one mistake I see people make, and I don't want you to make it. All right. Please organize by campaigns. And before you ever create these, just get a spreadsheet or a piece of paper and decide how you're going to lay these out. How are you going? Do you primarily focus by product or by industry? That's generally how I see people talking about it. But it could also be point in the buying cycle. So a campaign that we often have is a branded campaign. I think that I believe that it's important that you bid on your name, because since the beginning of paid search, I can tell you that the number one phrase that converts for every single customer I've ever worked for is their company name. And you might say, well, Sage, I already come up number one in the search listings for my company name. I don't care. You never want them to go to somebody else. It's a game of real estate, owning the real estate. Your brand is not going to cost you much, but it will cost you a lot if somebody goes to someplace else. I'll give you an example. I like Aldi's. Do you ever shop at Aldi's? I love it. I love saving money. I can't stand paying more. I love it. I love saving money. And I love Aldi's. I recommend it. It's the most efficient shopping program out there. But they have a terrible website. It's just terrible. It's terrible. And so what I did one day was I made a page that listed every Aldi store in Ohio. Okay? So let me see if I can show it to you. Aldi Akron. Okay? Let's see. Where was it? There it is. So it's down a little bit further than it used to be. But you can see here, I come up for virtually every Aldi in Ohio. And what I can tell you is this. People email me thinking I am Aldi's. They will say, can you tell me, the phone number of your Akron store. Literally, this happens to me. So Word from the Wise says, so do you put your company name as a keyword in all of your campaigns? No, I usually make a campaign for branded. Okay, I have a campaign called branded. And I put my various keywords in there, like product names, CEO, company name, and I make it its own campaign that I can control the cost that way. But you'll see if you do it and you track conversion, you'll see I'm willing to bet you that it by far converts better than any other of your campaigns. So sometimes if you think of it that way, if you think about like how where people are in the buying cycle, people that type in Miller Weldmaster, they've done all of their shopping. Okay, they've done the research, they have seen all the other vinyl welding machines out there, and they want Miller Weldmaster. A person that types in vinyl welder is early in the buying cycle. They're just starting. You know, they might not even be the right target audience for. Vinyl welding could be a home application. There are home welders, for the home, and they don't offer that. So they're very early in the buying cycle. So sometimes we think about it that way. You can slice and dice this any way you want, but do slice and dice it, please. Okay, and do, I think, if your company is. Not a lot of people know the name SageRock, and honestly, I might be guilty of not having a branded campaign. I should go and see, but I should because I don't want to lose it. I don't want to lose that person that comes over on my name because they are ready to buy. Okay, now you see this load setting thing here? Okay. I want you to read what this says. This is important. To help you get started, you can load settings for a variety of campaign types or from an existing campaign. The selection you make isn't permanent. You can always edit your settings manually later, okay? So it's not like this whole time zone and currency issue where you have to be right the first time. You can change all of this. But I want you to pick. I do not want you to pick the default. Okay, the default is a moneymaker for Google. And this is why. Do you see what we see here? You have options. Search network only, display network only. I'm going to talk about this. Text ads, display network only, display ad builder, mobile and tablet devices only, online video, in stream. Okay. I want you to understand the difference between search network and display network. Search network are search engines, primarily Google and AOL. AOL gets Google AdWords listings, okay? Display network is everything else, and there is a ton of everything else. There is a program called AdSense. All right, and every blogger in the world can sign up for AdSense. And what they do is you sign up for AdSense, Google gives you a little bit of JavaScript code, you put it like in your navigation bar, your right-hand navigation, left-hand navigation, and then it serves ads from AdWords based on the content of the page. It's very effective because it's very easy for the publisher, the blogger, to do. And it serves very relevant ads because it understands what's on the page. You will get wildly different results from search network ads versus display network ads, okay? What you're going to see is in display network, you are going to see a very low click-through rate, meaning that your ad will be displayed thousands of times and you may get a click or two. That's fine. That does not matter. What matters is, does it convert? And if it does not convert, because it oftentimes does not, I want you to break it up into another campaign. Okay? Now, the question comes, do you is, let's say you have 6 different campaigns, okay? You have a branded, you have, you know, a couple industry ones, a couple product ones, and you end up with 6, right? Do you mirror them, one for the search network only and then one for the display network only? I don't know. It depends on how micromanagey you might be, all right? Maybe you just create one display network campaign and you test it to see, you know, put some of your best phrases in it and see what happens. But I would strongly encourage you not to mix them by default, all right? The 2 that you are primarily going to use are the top 2. Search network only and display network only. Those are these text-based ads that we saw on that CNC machining example, right? So those are probably the 2. Network only display ad builder, those are image ads, and you can do that. Mobile and tablet device only. I have not set up any of those yet. I don't know if Greg has. I can't comment on those, but those would be interesting to consider. I don't have any data on those personally. Online video in stream. Again, I've never used those either, so I don't know. You might. I just don't know about them, you know, and I don't want to lie to you that I do. I don't. I just don't. Most of what I do is in the search network and display network. If you're interested in it, I can get you the answers because there are people here that have done it. I just haven't, you know. And then TV campaigns. You can buy actual TV spots. I know a little bit about that. I've never done it personally, but I do believe that what they do is they sell remnants, and so you can get some good deals on that. But I haven't tried it either, so I can't comment on any success I personally had on that. But I do know that it is sometimes very, very affordable. All right. The 2 that we're going to talk about today are search network and display network. And again, please don't select default, which includes both of those. We're going to just do search network, okay? And you can see there search network only settings have been loaded, all right? And I want you to change the name of this campaign. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to call it, I'm going to do Maui condos, right? So maybe I would have like Hawaii condos, but I'm going to just do Maui condos as the campaign, and this is just going to be search, all right? Now, locations. You can target your ads to almost any set of locations, including countries, territories, regions, cities, and custom areas. For example, you could target specific regions within the United States and a few large English-speaking cities in Europe. You can view and edit your targeting options in the setting tab for your campaign. Now, in my Maui condo example, this would work this way. I could bid on the phrase condo and only come up if somebody is in Maui. All right, they type in the word condo, but they are coming from Maui. That's called geo-targeting. There are 2 ways you can target. You can do geo-targeting, or you can do a national campaign that has geo-targeted phrases in it. Okay, does that make sense? It's confusing. So, I do not want to come up for just the word condo, right? That would be ridiculous. I would burn through all my money, and people, you know, most people would not want me because they want, you know, they're looking for condos all over the place. I could do a targeted campaign like this. I could say, all right, I'm going to have a campaign that is condos. I'm going to call it condos geo-targeted. All right, and what I'm going to do is, I'm going to bid on phrases like condo, but only to people in Maui. Okay, do you get it? You see what I'm saying there? So like maybe something would make even more sense is like real estate. Let's say you sell real estate in Akron, Ohio. You could bid on the phrase real estate, but geo-target it by Akron. Okay? And you could do it like this. The other option is you could make, so I would probably call this a condo geo-targeted campaign, and I would break it out that way. The other way, which in this case is going to make more sense, is I'm going to have this Maui condos campaign, and I'm going to have it in all countries and territories. And I can pick, based on your target locations, you may want to target pages that use these interface languages. So I can target specific languages, okay, and so on. So I can edit, you know, maybe, I don't know, they were saying that Japanese people come, so, you know, maybe I'm going to leave it like that. German, English, French, Japanese, Spanish, you know, we want all those people. But I am not, in this campaign, I am not going to just bid on the word condo. I'm going to bid on phrases like Maui condos, Maui rentals, Maui vacation rentals, Maui vacation condos, you know, stuff like that. It's going to be a national campaign that I geo-target by key phrase. In this case, I am probably not going to do a geo-targeted campaign for the phrase condos, and serve it up to just Maui people, because Maui people already have condos, right? So it would not behoove me to target those people because they're already in Maui. I want to target people that are not in Maui, all right? So I am going to do all countries and territories. But again, break these into different campaigns. You will thank me for it, I promise you, okay? Because you get to control your budget, and that's the name of this game. You can also show a map. So look at this. There is no better geo-targeting on the planet than what is offered at Google. They do the best. You can draw things on these maps. So let's do China, you know. So, you know, I can pick China. And let's see, you know. So you can see here that it's showing me what is going to be in, you know, in China. And I can refine, you know, I can do things nearby, you know, Sichuan, Yan'an, Xinjiang, you know, all these places I can add, right? And so I can do all kinds of really interesting targeting. So I encourage you to do that, especially if your audience buys locally, you know, if you are selling to a local audience. I would recommend, like, you know, web developer, you know, do web design and target it to a region. So, because people will type in web design, but you don't want to probably come up for everybody in the country because it's going to be too expensive. You might find that you have the best luck by targeting in your geographic area, okay? So, in this case, we are going to do all countries and all territories. Most people are not going to do this, right? Most people are going to do United States and Canada or United States. And honestly, I would, if in international campaigns, I would probably pick the countries. I would make campaigns per country. I would have a German campaign that has German ads, Italian campaigns that have Italian ads. But in this case, this is a rare case. I do not usually recommend doing this, but because she wants to target anybody that wants a Maui condo, we're going to do all countries and all territories, okay? And then you can see advanced options. Targeting method. Target either physical location or search intent. So that, you know, you can target, we'll show your ads to users located in your target area and users who include the terms specific to your target area. That's probably what we want in this case. Target using physical location, device location, signals. So that would be like if they were in Maui. And then target using search intent, location terms in their search query. So you would want to pick those there. Exclude, so you can exclude by physical location only. And so you can do that, as well. Okay, so you can see here now in my networks, I have search, right? Because that's what I already selected. And then all available devices, I can choose them. And you can see here that in tablets with full browsers, I can pick all available operating systems. I can pick operating systems, so I could serve ads to specific people, like Android people, iPad people, and all available carriers and Wi-Fi. Or check this, Wi-Fi traffic, United States. I can break out, by carrier, United States, Verizon, Cricket Communications. Doesn't this blow your mind how targeted you can? I mean, it's just amazing how targeted you can be. And again, the more targeted you are with your campaigns, the more in control you're going to be with your budget. But there's a happy medium where I don't want you to go overboard on this, right? Because if you go overboard, it's going to be a nightmare to manage. You got to find a happy medium. But I'm going to do all available devices on this. Okay, now it says bidding options. You can do advanced or basic. And so advanced is, let's see what I want to do here. So you have a couple options. You can do, if you're in basic, I think most of the time basic is going to be just fine. But it defaults here again to AdWords will set my bids to help maximize clicks within my target budget. I am suspect of that. I want you to be careful of that. That might be okay, but personally, I like to do a manual default, okay? There are two budgets that you have, a default bid and a budget per day, okay? And so in this case, maybe I'm going to do a default bid of $1 and then a budget per day of, say, $5. I don't know. I'm very conservative when I start out my paid search. I can always ratchet it up later. Now, but that's just me. If you have a big budget, then, feel free to go more, go heavy. It doesn't, just because your default bid is $1 does not mean that you have to pay $1. It's just kind of your maximum, that you won't pay more. The default maximum cost per click for your ad group will be applied to all keywords for which you haven't set a unique cost per click bid. So you can go in and manually set bids for all phrases, but this is the default bid, okay? And then, let's see, did we do delivery? Standard, slow ad, show ads evenly over time, accelerated, show ads as quickly as possible. I want you to do standard. Accelerated is they'll just blow through your budget, and then when you're done, you're done. Don't do that. Just do standard where it shows it evenly, okay? Now, what you'll find is that the downside to either of these is if you aren't at the maximum daily budget that you could be, you'll go and you'll check it out all excitedly and you won't see your ad. And it might just be because they're displaying your ad at random intervals. This happens to me every time I go to a big meeting and I get like half hour with the CMO of a huge, large corporation, and they're like, oh, well, let me see our pay-per-click listing. And I go in and I'm like, oh, okay, here it is. And then it doesn't come up. And then everybody starts freaking out, including myself, because, Mr. Bigwig is there, and they're like, oh, man. And, just fear not, just be aware that if you do that, you show a client, show your boss, and your ad doesn't appear, just calmly say, look, if you want your ad to appear every time, we need a higher daily budget because we haven't reached our maximum daily budget, and, so be it. Okay. You can use this option, ad extensions. You can use this option feature to include relevant business information in your ads. So you can do locations, site links, calls. You can extend your ad by a phone number, which is really cool. Like you can put a phone number in there. And I think that's $1 right now. I'm not sure. The last I checked, if you can do all these, you can pick different kinds of links in there. You can do all kinds of things. All right, and you can take a tour of that and you can test all of that stuff. So then you can, an advanced option, you can do a start date and end date. The one thing you can't do is say, I want to spend $100. See, because wouldn't that be nice? You get your $100 coupon and you say, as soon as I spend $100, drop out. Surprisingly, they don't have that option. And the reason is because they don't want you to do that. You can have campaigns start date and end date, but if you only want to spend $100, go in and check it on a regular basis and make sure you pause your campaign once you get close to $100. So then you can go on ad rotation, optimize for clicks, show ads expected to provide more clicks, so on, frequency cap. Just, go on and you can see all of this stuff. It says your campaign must be opted into the Google Display Network to use this feature. That's for display network only. So yeah, that's something that's a little outside of the realm of this here, but so on. So you can go on, and so just to make sure, I'm going to do in all countries and territories, just search all available devices. My default bid is going to be $1. My budget a day is going to be $5. I'm going to save and continue. Okay. Now we have come to an ad group, and a lot of times you can break things up by ad group. You could say, well, I have Maui condos, but I actually I want to do Maui vacation rentals and Maui condos. Maui condos is an ad group, Maui vacation rentals is an ad group, and you have all of those in there. And so you can break that up like that. But I'm going to call it Maui condos. I recommend renaming the ad groups. Don't take the defaults because it will get confusing. So here you can start building your ad. Let's see. Oh, and if you want some tips, like here, like for example, I'm going to go see what other people have said for their Maui condo, right? So I can get an idea of what is available. So you have Maui oceanfront condos. That's pretty good, right? Vacation rentals in Maui. All right. I love this. I honestly don't know if it's. I didn't ask if it's oceanfront, but that sells, right? So I'm gonna do that. I'm going to do Maui ocean front condo. Okay. And do you see this little gray bar? You don't have many. I think it's 25 characters in your title. Where'd it go? Okay. So you can't put a lot of stuff in here. So then I might say private owner offering his family condo for your family. I don't know. I'm making it up. I don't know. That's not great. And then, so now let's see. Let me see if I can find, I don't have the URL. Maui, let's see if it's, one second. Let's see, Maui condo by owner, I think. Yeah, so it's this one. See, they're already come up pretty well in the natural listings. Okay. So what I want to tell you about this is this, that your display URL can be one thing, like your root domain, and your destination URL could be a special page, like condo. All right. The only difference is, the only thing that's required is your display URL has to be the same root of your destination URL. You cannot have a display URL of one domain and then direct people to another domain. That's not allowed. But you can have a custom place that you send people, and I recommend it. It's called a landing page. All right. And a landing page gives you an opportunity to tell people the very specific message for the phrase that they came in on. So you can make landing pages for each of your campaigns if you want. The more targeted, my experience has been, the more targeted your phrase is to your or the more targeted your landing page is to the phrase a person came in on, the more likely it is that you will convert. Okay, and I would recommend probably having a strong call to action on that phrase or on that landing page. I don't recommend putting your home page as your main destination. There's too much going on your home page. I see people doing that all the time, and they get very poor results. I strongly encourage you to create landing pages. Okay, so ad preview. The following ad previews may be formatted slightly different from what is shown in the ad, but you can see what your ad will look like here. Okay, so you can go through there. Now, the next thing is you can start adding key phrases here. All right, and you can do Maui condo, Maui vacation rental, and so on. Okay. You can pick do an estimated, oh wait, I think I maybe have to save. Hold on. Okay. Let me just save real quick. Wonder why that didn't work. Oh, I see. Okay, sorry. I had to take out the HTTP in my destination URL. Okay. Now let me save it here. Okay, so here you can see that they have put these phrases in here. But what I would recommend that you do is I would recommend that you come up to Tools and Analysis, and I would strongly encourage you to go to the Keyword tool. All right? Because it's going to give you a lot of really cool phrases. And the more targeted your phrases, select a campaign and ad group to, okay, so we can select this, and the ad group is Maui Condo, okay? So here, I can put in, I'll just put in Maui Condo, okay? And I'm just going to click search. And so you can see all of the phrases that are possible for you. And you can see also their average cost or approximate cost per click. You can see how much traffic they have, the amount of competition, and so on. So you can go through these. You can just start selecting these, all these different phrases. And you can put all of these in, and you can pick and choose. So you can go down here, and you can do that, as much as you would like. And then so what I have done here is I've selected a few, and I'm going to click Add Keywords. Okay, add keywords to this ad group. Okay. And now with any kind of luck, okay, let's see if I go back to my campaigns. Okay. Now you can see those phrases are in there, all right? Now, the thing that I want you to know is that, again, Google has done something a little tricky, all right? And the tricky thing that they have done is that what you should know is that there are 3 different match types. There is broad match, meaning that your ad will come up in anything that relates to Maui condos. So, for example, I've bid on shoes and come up for the word slippers. Okay, when you broad match. The next, more refined, is phrase match. Phrase match means that the phrase has to be in there. So for Maui condos, it could be like somebody could type cheap Maui condos for sale by owner, Maui condos for rent today. As long as they use the phrase Maui condos, anytime, any words that they use before and after will work. The other is exact match. Exact match means they have to type in Maui condos, not Maui condo, not Maui condos by owner. It has to be exact match. Now, guess what match type Google defaults you with? Broad match, of course. Broad match gives Google the most money. I want you to strongly be not afraid. I want you to be aware of the risks of broad match. Okay? You can do broad match, but I probably do not, under most circumstances, I do not want you to. I want you to use either phrase match or exact match until you know what you're doing. So, Maui, and the way it works is exact match. I'll show you what exact match is. So exact match puts the phrase in brackets. This is exact match. Phrase match puts it in quotes. Okay, that's a great question. Should the keywords match the AdWords headline exactly? We do know that the phrase, if you use the phrase in your ad headline that they have typed in, you will get better results. Okay? And what I want to try to do is I can show you actually, I think, how to make a custom one of those. Hold on. Rocky, do you remember how to make a dynamic keyword insertion in an ad? What the code is? Okay. That's all right. So, all right, hold on. I'm going to look for this. I forget the code. I'm going to get it for you. So, AdWords dynamic keyword insertion. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see if it's in here. So what I'm getting you here is a way that you can automatically, oh, okay, here it is. So what you would do here is you could do this. So you could go into this ad, and instead of saying Maui condo, Maui oceanfront condo, you could do something like this. You could do keyword and default text, which would be Maui condo. Okay? I believe. Let me maybe double check that. To use keyword insertion, insert the following code at any point in your text, including that. When your ad appears on a search result page, the code will be replaced by the keyword that triggered the ad. If the keyword is too long and would cause the text to exceed the character limit, the ad's default text would be used instead. So what you would do here is you would say, if it's too long, so you would do Maui oceanfront condo. Front condo. So you could make it so that when they type in a word or a phrase, that phrase is dynamically created in the the heading of that ad. And if it's too long, if their phrase is too long because it goes beyond the 25 character limit, then they'll put in your default. So that's a more advanced thing, but you could try it. John says, if you have several distinct phrases, should you create a separate campaigns or separate ad groups? I think I'm going to go with the answer is yes. I would, if you feel that they are not distinct enough that you want to break them out by budget, then make them different ad groups, okay? That they're related, but yet they are not, they're not distinct products. They're not distinct industries. Just go ahead and I'd make them ad groups, okay? And I think that was the way I would go. Does phrase match allow for misspellings? No. No. Wait, I don't know. Okay, hold on. I'm going to see if I can get Greg on the. Oh, I closed my Skype. Do you know that, Rocky? No, that's okay. Does phrase match allow for misspellings? Can you go ask Greg? All right, well, that's a great question, and I'm going to find out. We're getting the best, the best of the best on this for you. It's a great question. I'm going to take a bet and say no, but let's see. We'll find out. Okay, so all right. So this is I just want you to be aware of the different kinds of match types, and you can just be aware of your different that broad match is the default, and that you can it can run you more money. Okay, I thought she came back, but I think she got an answer, but I don't know where she went. We'll find out. So those are things that you can do, all right? Now, we're already 3 minutes over. You guys have been amazing. 90 minutes of a webinar is just crazy. But what I want to leave you with is conversions, okay? In tools and analysis, I want you to understand that you can track conversions, and this is the best way to track, all right? And what you do is you put conversion code on like a thank you page, all right? And then it will track those conversions automatically in there for you. And that, did you find out, Rocky?
Yes, not phrase.
It will not, misspellings will not appear in phrase match.
No, but
broad match. Broad match.
And Denise said you can do the modified broad matching, which is where you have a base word.
Okay.
And then there's a plus and
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So the word on the street is phrase match will not do misspellings. Broad match will. All right. And then there is something I've never heard of called modified broad match, which I will have to find out about. I don't know. But at any rate, those are the things that, so that's the stance on misspellings. Now, it says, I also have ads that have my keyword in the headline yet come with low quality scores. How is that? All right, the quality score probably has to do with what is on the page. What I want you to do is I want you to go and look at the page that you are sending people to. Does your landing page have the phrase on it itself? Quality score has to do with the ads and where they are sending them to. We believe that quality score also has to do with speed of loading page. If the page loads slowly, that can affect it. We just had this issue with somebody, and they had the phrase on the page, but they did not have a good title. And so now we're testing that to see if that will affect, that if we put the phrase within the page title. So that's where I would like you to go next, is take a look from that perspective. All right. Now, this is such a crazy, exciting world. Now, this is going to be available online. I'm probably going to put it on the SageRock blog for free, and I'm going to get you the links. I'm going to follow up with those. But for what it's worth, I want you to know that I am also doing an in-depth workshop, and I'm probably going to do it with some guest speakers too. In my area of specialization tends to be in organic and social. I'm fairly okay at paid search, but I don't run the paid search campaigns here at SageRock. And so I think having those people come to sessions might be useful, but I'm doing an 8-session in-depth paid workshop where we're doing AdWords, Bing, Microsoft's Ad Center. We're going to look at Facebook, LinkedIn, and whatever anybody wants to look at. There's a lot of in-depth stuff, and we're going to talk more about landing pages and that sort of thing. If I did not get your question answered, please come back here on Friday at 3:15, okay? And I will answer your question for free. And I would love for you to come anytime you want. Just come to, sagerock.com/live, 3:15 Eastern Time, and feel free to ask any question you want. But I would love to see you at this, the paid search in-depth workshop if you want. There's a lot that goes on in this world. There's a lot more that we can talk about. And you can see even in 90 minutes, I was pushing the wall of it. I mean, there were still things that I wanted to talk about that we didn't quite get to. We need to look at reporting, the different kinds of things like what a good click-through rate is, what a good impressions are, how to measure an effective cost per click, and all of these things that we want to look at from a tracking standpoint. But hopefully, this will give you the information to create a sound architecture for your campaigns. I would love to see more people having a good foundation like this, because I just don't see it that much. I don't see these kinds of, well-organized campaigns. 9 times out of 10, when I go into somebody's campaign, it says campaign number 1, ad group number 1, and they just stuff everything in there. And I don't want you to be that person, because when you organize by campaign, you are going to be a much more effective advertiser, and your money is going to go much, much farther. All right, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for the questions. Thank you for spending your afternoon with me. I hope you found it useful. And again, if you have questions, please come to the Friday session. If you want the coupon, just email me, okay? And I will give you the coupon. And if you want the coupon at any time, just email me. I will give it to you. As long as I'm in that Gauge program, I've got the coupons, and I'd be delighted to get you it. All right, everybody, thank you so much, and have a fantastic day. Okay, bye now.